Did you know that the Gadianton Robbers had a capital city? That it was the most wicked city on earth. Welcome to another episode of Discovering the Book of Mormon through Science and Exploration. Recent excavations on the Peruvian Altiplano have perhaps revealed information about the Book of Mormon's tale of two cities. One city dealt with bouts of unrighteousness, while the other city was a completely wicked community. Archaeologists Charles Stanish and Abigail Levine from UCLA might have helped us identify one of the bloodiest battlegrounds mentioned in the Book of Mormon. Their article, a proceeding from the National Academy of Science in June 2011, on the ruins at Taraco, Peru, might seem unrelated to the Book of Mormon unless one realizes that the ruins at Pucara in the northern Titicaca Basin is a qualified candidate for Zarahemla. See our 4-part series on Zarahemla. To fully appreciate why the Stanish and Levine article is of great interest, we must review the relationship between Zarahemla and its enemy, the city of Jacobugath, the stronghold of the Gadianton Robbers. We read in 3 Nephi about the bloody Gadianton War. And it came to pass that in the 13th year since the birth of Christ, there began to be wars and contentions throughout all the land. For the Gadianton robbers had become so numerous, and did slay so many of the people, and did waste so many cities, and did spread so much death and carnage throughout the land, that it became expedient that all the people, both the Nephites and the Lamanites, should take up arms against them. The robbers were only able to get significant influence over the Nephites when the Nephites themselves became wicked. Undoubtedly, this is because the Order of Gadianton was an ancient and satanic brotherhood that was built on secret oaths and combinations. When the Nephites slid into greater wickedness, they lost control of the great city of Jacobugath to the Gadianton robbers and their Antichrist king Jacob. The Lord said of the city of Jacobugath, "And behold, that great city Jacobugath, which was inhabited by the people of King Jacob, I have caused to be burned with fire because of their sins and their wickedness, which was above all the wickedness of the whole earth. Therefore I did cause them to be burned, to destroy them before my face." By AD 15, the robbers were so strong that they sent an epistle to Lyconius, the governor of the Nephites, demanding that the Nephites surrender or be killed. Lyconius refused the epistle and instead prepared his people for war by crying to the Lord to strengthen his people against the robbers, gathering his people and their herds, building fortifications around them and placing guards, successfully inspiring his people to repent and call upon God for deliverance. Lyconius appointed the great commander, Gadianton, to head the Nephite armies against the robbers. When the people requested that Gadianton, quote, "go up upon the mountains and into the wilderness," end quote, after the robbers, Gadianton said that the Lord forbid him from going into the mountains where the robbers would destroy them. Rather, Gadianton told the people, "We will prepare ourselves in the center of our lands, and we will gather all our armies together, and we will not go up against them, but we will wait till they shall come against us. If we do this, he, the Lord, will deliver them into our hands." North of Pucara, our candidate for Zarahemla, is a wilderness within the Andes Mountains. To the south is Jacobugath, near the shore of Lake Titicaca. The Book of Mormon tells us that in 17 AD, the Nephites gathered to the land of Zarahemla. In 18 AD, the Gadianton robbers came down from the mountains to battle against the Nephites, and also from their stronghold and from their secret places. The Lord identified the Gadianton robbers stronghold as Jacobugath, which is to the south of Zarahemla. The secret places indicate that perhaps the Gadianton robbers had infiltrated among the Nephites and became an insurgency. Since the Nephites had left their land desolate and had gathered to Zarahemla, there is no food to sustain the Gadianton robbers in the mountains, so they had to stop raiding from the wilderness. If so, this meant that they had to come up, that is, from the south, from their stronghold at Jacobugath, in order to battle the Nephites in open territory. And what was the result? Quote, "Great and terrible was the slaughter thereof, insomuch that there never was known so great slaughter among all the people of Lehi since he left Jerusalem." The Nephites defeated the robbers, quote, "insomuch that they," the robbers, "did fall back from before them," end quote. That is, back to the south from where they had come. 3 Nephi 4:12. The Nephites pursued the Gadianton robbers, quote, "to the borders of the wilderness," end quote. 3 Nephi 4:13. This leads to the possibility that the Nephites pursued the robbers back south to the shoreline of Lake Titicaca, where the city of Jacobugath appears to have been located. In the decade preceding the Lord's visit to the Nephites, many of the cities that were destroyed during the bloody Gadianton War were rebuilt, including the city of Jacobugath, because it was referred to by the Lord in AD 34. By AD 29, the Nephites are described as being, quote, "lifted up unto pride and boasting because of their exceedingly great riches." When Jesus Christ died on the cross, the Nephite city of Jacobugath was burned because of its wickedness. Since the city was the most evil of all cities, we can assume that pride, boasting, and distinguishing people according to rank and riches were part of the reason Jacobugath was destroyed by fire. However, after the Lord's visit, the Nephites and the Lamanites, quote, "had all things common among them. Therefore there were no rich and poor." Let's compare what we know about the city of Jacobugath to the ruins that the UCLA archaeologists discovered at the city called Taraco on the northern shore of Lake Titicaca. Those ruins date back to 500 BC, the time of the Mulekites. Jacobugath and Zarahemla were great cities at the time of Christ. Archaeologists estimate that at that time Bukhara had a population of 10,000 people and Taraco had a population of 5,000 people, both large cities in antiquity. They were two of the largest cities in the North Titicaca Basin. The Gadianton robbers were a band of raiders who became rich by plundering and raiding their Nephite brothers. Thus, one would expect to see the icons of the rich in the ruins of their capital city. As with the Gadianton robbers, warfare and raiding were prevalent among the people of Bukhara and Taraco. Archaeologists Stanish and Levine write of Taraco. It is precisely such a cultural landscape that provides the fertile ground for the emergence of first-generation states. In this article, we focus on a case of organized raiding and warfare between competing policies in the Titicaca Basin of southern Peru from circa 500 BCE to AD 400 as a major factor in first-generation state formation. 3. Jacobugath must have been south of Zarahemla because the robbers came, quote, up, meaning to the north, to do battle with Zarahemla. Taraco is 30 miles south-southeast of Bukhara. 4. The Nephite army pursued the Gadianton robbers back to Jacobugath, where they killed many of them, and also among the dead was their leader. Archaeologist Charles Quee writes, "Their results suggest Bukhara waged a violent war against Taraco. possibly killing hundreds with their weapons before burning the state to the ground. In the century that Bukhara peaked, the site of Taraco was attacked and it ceased to be a political power in the region. 5. Jacobugath was one of the cities that was destroyed in AD 18 at the time of the Gadianton Wars, but was later rebuilt circa AD 29 to 30. According to archaeologists Stanish and Levine, Taraco had been rebuilt several times. 6. Before Christ's visitation, there was a great inequality among the people of Jacobugath, with class distinction based on wealth. According to Stanish and Levine, quote, our data reveals that a high-status residency section of Taraco was burned in the 1st century AD, after which economic activity in the area drastically declined, end quote. That is, Taraco had a high status and a low status areas. 7. According to Stanish and Levine, through carbon-14 dating, it is known that Taraco was intentionally burned in the 1st century AD. 8. Jacobugath was rebuilt after the Lord's coming, but then there was no more rich or poor among them, suggesting that there were no longer luxury goods being produced in that city. The UCLA archaeologists wrote of the ruins at Taraco, quote, there's a substantial decrease in the abundance of fine-made decorative pottery after the burn event from 12% to 2%. This decline is the use of high-valued pottery from pre to post-burn is highly significant and suggests a corresponding drop in or shift in the nature of the ritual political activities taking place at the site. 9. After Jacobugath burned at the Lord's coming, the Nephites had all things in common. There were no rich or poor. After the burn event at Taraco, the populations became an agricultural society and less focus on luxury goods and more equality among the people. Stanish and Levine's interpretations of the ruins at Taraco fit nicely into the Book of Mormon's tale of two cities. Raiding and plunder were a part of the economics of the time. Besides the Gadianton raids, the people of the Altiplano experienced high levels of warfare during Book of Mormon times. By raiding others, Taraco became rich and prideful before it burned. However, Bukhara or Zarahemla defeated the armies of Taraco and destroyed the city of Jacobugath. Thousands were killed, among them their leader. Taraco, like Jacobugath, had been rebuilt after it was destroyed by fire. After the fire, Taraco no longer manufactured luxury goods. Rather, it increased its agricultural activities, suggesting there was no longer rich or poor among them. I believe that the ruins at Taraco was once the most wicked city on earth and the capital of the Gadianton Robbers. Discover more about the Book of Mormon by subscribing to this channel. You can do so by clicking below. It is free. Or you can visit our website, christinperu.com. That's one word, christinperu.com, where you can discover more about our books and also our tours to Peru. Thank you.